Spencer Critchley, who's a Democratic strategist. He's worked on major presidential campaigns, including both for former U.S. President Barack Obama. Spencer, great to have you with us, especially to take stock of really pivotal moments like this. I want to start by reflecting, before we get to the speech itself, how would you summarize Biden's first 100 days in office?
I think it's just been extraordinarily successful. And I would say I am also not at all surprised. I think people have often underestimated President Biden's leadership skills. And I think that often happens with people who are known for their so-called softer skills like empathy and warmth and compassion and good humor, which he's kind of famous for. But, you know, during the Obama administration and for years before in the Senate, he developed a reputation as a very, very effective leader. For example, leading the stimulus program beginning in early 2009 when Obama came in. And that was one of the most successful, most efficient, and most waste-free major government programs in U.S. history. So, as I say, I think he's been extraordinarily good his first 100 days, but I am not surprised.
Spencer, I want to get one more from you before we bring in our other guest, Rina Shah. You know, this was a speech that heavily focused on Biden's domestic agenda. Was that strategic on the part of the administration to minimize what was said about foreign policy? There was only a light dusting of it at the end, talking about troops withdrawing from Afghanistan and talking about protecting America's interests.
That's an interesting point, and I, of course, can only speculate, but I think that President Biden probably knows that a crucial part of his challenge is to knit the country back together and rebuild a basic level of domestic support for the president, whether or not one voted for the president. The level of division in this country is destructive of democracy itself, and I think he knows that perhaps his first priority, along with, of course, trying to save lives in responding to the COVID pandemic, is to restore faith in American democracy. And he's doing that, I believe, not just with attitude. We've had too much, I think, emphasis on theatricality in recent years, and not just President Trump, I think across the culture generally and across our politics generally. But he's restoring faith by showing people he can get things done and that he's going to focus on what matters to them. And this is why his domestic policy proposals have extraordinarily high approval, even for people who don't like him just because he's a Democrat. They will say they really like what he's doing with jobs, with COVID relief, and the things that Americans actually really need.
Absolutely. Jobs and health care are two of the predominant issues that we saw Americans vote for when they headed to the polls.